Hey y'all, it's Celt, and if you paid attention to the news on Monday, April 24th, then you're probably aware that Tucker Carlson was fired from Fox News. And we need to talk about it. So when the news first broke that Tucker Carlson was no longer going to be on Fox News, many people were very skeptical, rightfully so. But it was quickly confirmed by Fox News themselves that Tucker Carlson would no longer be a part of their network. And this caused social media to explode with speculation from people of all sides of the political aisle. Leftists and liberals were opining that this have something to do with the defamation suit that Fox just settled about the voting machines and the election fraud cases. Also wondering if this has anything to do with the upcoming lawsuit that Fox is facing from a former Fox employee, also related to the election fraud claims. And those are actually two very reasonable guesses, because that lawsuit that was just settled cost Fox News a lot of money, and this upcoming lawsuit may very well cost them a lot more money. And as Beau the Fifth Column pointed out in one of his videos, Fox fired Bill O'Reilly for a lot less money than Tucker Carlson just cost Fox News. And it has been confirmed by anonymous sources that Tucker was fired and didn't just go his separate ways like Tucker and Fox are trying to make it seem. But the interesting part is when we look at the reaction of the Tucker supporters, the people on the right, the ultra MAGA. And it's a very varied response by people on the right, which is not to be unexpected. Tucker was the most popular person on Fox News. He drew in viewers from all facets of the political right, from the ones who were just slightly center-right, all the way to the far-right and alt-right extremists. Tucker Carlson is the undisputed king of mainstream media far-right propaganda and disinformation. The majority consensus among many people on the right is this is the end of Fox News. And while that may not actually be the case, more than likely this is not going to cause Fox News to file for bankruptcy. Their stock price took a major hit after it was announced that Tucker would no longer be on the network. As for the conspiracy theories of why he's no longer on the network, we have the normal one you would expect, that it was the deep state who did it. People making the claim that since Tucker fights against the deep state, that this is proof that he was about to drop some big revelation against the deep state. Unfortunately, they're reinforced in their belief of this conspiracy theory due to an interview that AOC did in which she specifically named Tucker Carlson as someone that the government should be enforcing regulations on for inciting violence.
Federal regulation in terms of what's allowed on air and what isn't. And when you look at what Tucker Carlson and some of these other folks on Fox do, it is very, very clearly incitement of violence. Very clearly incitement of violence. And that is the line that I think we have to be willing to contend with.
With AOC being the closest thing we have to a progressive politician currently in office, they're going to view her as a member of the deep state and use whatever she says as a backing for this conspiracy theory. That's not AOC's fault. That's just what conspiracy theorists do. Even the less cloak and dagger of the conspiracy theories that are making the assertion that it may have been government interference without the whole deep state allegations are referencing AOC's speech. Again, not AOC's fault, because they're going to latch onto anything they can use to reinforce their worldview and conspiracies. The remaining right-wing theories of why Tucker Carlson may no longer appear on Fox News include the 60 Minutes documentary on Ray Epps. For those of you who don't know, Tucker Carlson pushed this conspiracy theory that Ray Epps was a federal agent there to incite violence on January 6th to make MAGA look bad. And the final theory that the right was pushing was that Tucker wanted to get himself fired so that he could announce his bid for the 2024 presidential elections. And as much of a nightmare that would be, I don't think that Tucker Carlson is going to announce a 2024 bid for the presidential election because of all the money that is currently on the table for him now that he has been fired from Fox News. Unfortunately with this, those of us on the left celebrated a little too hard a little too early. Now don't get me wrong, this is something to celebrate. This is a major blow to disinformation and propaganda within mainstream media. But this is the one time you will probably ever get me on record saying that there is something that was said by both Tim Pool and Cat Turd that I actually agree with. Tim points out that Tucker knows that he'll make $100 million a year on his own, and this is something that I believe. Tucker knows this, and it's a very high possibility that that is the amount of money that Tucker is looking at now that he is a free agent. And the reason that amount of money is on the table is because of what Cat Turd says. Tucker can now start his own thing and say whatever he wants. This makes him 100 times more powerful. This is unfortunately 100% true, and as much as I hate to say it, Fox News reeled in someone like Tucker Carlson. They set limitations on him. Rupert Murdoch does not like to lose money. He does not like being sued. Like I said, there's a strong chance that this is the reason Tucker was fired, was because he cost Fox News money. Fox News letting Tucker Carlson amplify Donald Trump's claims that the election stolen was the safe bet. And we know that Tucker Carlson knows how to start his own media company. He already did it with the Daily Caller. Granted, he sold his shares of that back in 2020, but it wouldn't be too hard for him to do it again or jump into the Daily Caller just as a commentator and an employee, or even move on to something like the Daily Wire. You know, the Daily Wire, the company that hosts Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Michael Knowles, and Matt Walsh, and actively pushes for things like transgenocide. Yeah, imagine how much free reign they would give someone like Tucker Carlson, someone that they consider very charismatic and would bring a very large viewing audience to them. More than likely, Tucker could write his own scripts without any oversight whatsoever. The other issue is we already know how much Tucker loves the Russian government and his hero Vladimir Putin. There's current reporting that Tucker is already receiving offers from state-owned Russian media. And this isn't a first, nor is it something that's unheard of. Russian state-owned media reaches out and hires American citizens as anchors and commentators all the time. He was already pushing Russian disinformation and propaganda about the war in Ukraine while he was working for Fox News. Doing it directly for the Kremlin is the next logical step. What this means is Tucker's audience will diminish slightly in the short term, but Tucker does have the ability to build it back in the long term. Tucker Carlson no longer being on Fox News will be a hit for Fox News to be able to push out disinformation and propaganda. Whatever company picks up Tucker will get a major boost to their disinformation and propaganda campaigns. And unfortunately, Fox News was not the most extremist network out there. We're looking at Tucker going to a more extreme network. So celebrate this short-term victory. I know I did. I tweeted out on Monday that I was celebrating the fact that the video I posted on Monday had a higher viewership than Tucker Carlson's show. But realize this victory is short-term. Just because this happened does not mean we can stop fighting Tucker Carlson's brand of propaganda and disinformation that is used to incite violence across our country. Because while his audience will temporarily lessen, his audience will become more extreme as he branches out into new networks. We are not seeing the end of Tucker Carlson's propaganda and disinformation. We are seeing the next stage and evolution of it. So remember, be safe, be vigilant, think critically, and I love you all. Till next time.